Hi, welcome to the Jimy Show, where we talk about the keys to unlock God's visions and dreams for your life. Everything for you to succeed and shine on social media as a Christian artist and creator. I'm your host, bilingual artist and business owner.
Well, so I'm so happy today because of this podcast episode. You can probably see it in the title, but I have again someone to interview, and I think actually it's him who texted me first because like I was in my courses in production, audio production, and I was like on Ableton, and like he texted me is like, "Is that Ableton?" And then I actually sent I think an audio messages, and like we started to talk and understand what we were both doing, and I felt like that was an answer to my prayer because I was praying to have really people to interview on that show. And he came like at the perfect timing. I was like, God, I need him on the show. So I'm so happy to introduce you to Baxter. Say hi.
Hi, yes, I'm glad to be here.
Oh, I'm so happy that you're here. So the first question will probably be like tell the audience, tell my listeners who you are, where you're from, maybe what you're doing in life, because this is interesting.
Yeah, so my real name is Justin Loninghing.
Hmm.
Yeah, as you can hear, I have a Chinese name, even though I don't even look Chinese. I do have a Chinese last name. I was born on an island called Curacao in the Caribbean.
Mm.
Yeah, when I was about 2 years old, me and my parents moved to the Netherlands. That's also where I currently live. I currently live in Utrecht, the Netherlands. Um,
Okay.
currently studying. I study communication and multimedia design at the University of Applied Science Utrecht. Yeah, I'm a first year student, and yeah, in my free time, I just like to make music. I like to edit videos. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I didn't knew you were doing all of that. Actually, I checked this morning, like one of your posts, and I didn't even knew you were studying. I was like, oh, he's studying too. Like he's doing so many things.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's quite a lot more. For example, what I also do weekly, I live in a student house, and weekly we get international students over on Thursday where we do Bible studies, and I lead those Bible studies.
Oh.
So that's one thing what I do. Yeah, we get people all over Europe, also some people from Asia and from the USA. It's really nice to connect with those people. So yeah, that's also what I do weekly.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Wow. God is really good in like giving us gifts and you helping us to use it for his glory and to really pour out in other people's life, and I'm so thankful just for him to use us like that.
yeah, yeah. I agree.
Okay. The first one of the first thing that I would like to dive into before talking about like your music side, because you said you're doing music too, is like your branding. It's on point.
Thank you.
And some of my followers and even like my clients always ask me, what color should I choose for my Instagram? I want it to be on brand. I want everything to be perfect. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be that complicated. So I
Yeah,
wanted to ask you, how did you come up with like the theme of your Instagram, your brand? Why choosing this shade of color, maybe?
yeah. Oh man, yeah, that was quite difficult. I'm not gonna lie. It took me a few years to actually put this together. Yeah, I've been on Instagram for a long time. At first, I was pretty much yeah looking what other people were doing,
Mm-hmm.
trying out different themes. I especially looked at my feet. What does my feet look like and stuff like that. And I at first I got really stressed about it because I also really wanted it to look perfectly, that looks
Yes.
appealing to people. And then at some point I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna try something that people have never done before. I guess I
Mm-hmm.
want to do something different. Yeah, there was also the same thing how I actually came with the color. Yeah, I was all yeah. It also started when I was listening to music. There's this artist called Oshi, and his team color is also something similar to this one. It's not exactly the
Okay.
same, but I was really inspired by his music and yeah, and just the color. I like the color, but I was like, I want to do it a little bit different, and yeah, that's why I ended up using this kind of color of pink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the idea behind it was also, I don't know, when people are, let's say, younger, like when we're kids, we learn things like boys like blue and girls like pink, but we always start with that idea in mind. And I was like, no, actually, you should be able to like every single color.
Wow.
Every single
Yes.
color should be able to work out fine for every person. It's not like, yeah, if
Mm.
you're a guy, you can only use this color. And because at first I was thinking about using colors like black or maybe blue and red
Mm-hmm.
because I like those colors. But then I was like, no, I'm going to try something completely different. That gets people's attention, and that's pretty
Mm-hmm.
much how I ended up with this color. Uh,
That's amazing. It's amazing because, like, for two things. One of the thing first is like the fact that you want it to be different. Like you step up and you say, this is what people really do usually believe in, but I
yeah,
say this is not supposed to be that way, and this is what I project. And this is amazing because, like, there's so many young people who are afraid to be themselves, afraid
yeah,
to do certain things because of other people's opinion, and they should not, because like in Jesus we have freedom. We are just we can do things because enjoy things, and this is amazing. And the second thing is, it's actually what I say to my clients, like, I didn't come up with my own theme and my own feed and my own branding in like a month. Like it took
yeah,
me years.
yeah.
You just need to keep trying and keep searching until you find the thing that suits you well. And this suits you well, by the way.
Thank you, thank you.
It's amazing. All right. The second question might be I'm seeing how much you actually love to give to your community, and even everyone passing by, like you started to talk to me, and that was amazing. I could see your heart, and I was wondering, could you tell the audience, my listener, what's actually futuristic feedback, and how did you come up with it?
Yes, futuristic feedback. Futuristic feedback is like, I would say, a small show that I run, where
Hmm.
I give yeah, I ask people to submit one of their songs. I will take the time to listen to that song. Usually, I listen a couple of times to that song to actually understand the
Hmm.
concept behind it, and then I write down a few feedback points, and then I make a short 1 minute video where I give my feedback on that song. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's pretty much the idea behind futuristic feedback. How it started, that was really interesting, because I always had this mindset where I wanted to help people, and yeah, in
Hmm.
any way possible. And one of these days on a music Instagram page, I saw some kind of meme. It had to do with feedback, with receiving feedback as an artist.
Hmm.
And I left a comment underneath that post like, I'm not looking for feedback, but I'm looking for people who are looking for feedback. And
Hmm.
that's how I actually ended up getting a few messages from like 2 or 3 people. We were like, hey, I got a song, and uh, could you give me feedback on it? And I was like, yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I would love to do that. Back then, the series used to be called Feedback Friday, because then I only used to make videos on Friday. Those videos were also longer, about 7 minutes, but I felt
Hmm.
like, because you could actually see my whole reaction from the start till finish. I was listening to the video while giving feedback, but I felt like those videos were a little bit too long, and I also wanted to upload more often, so that's why I changed the name
Hmm.
to Futuristic Feedback. The thing
Wow.
with the word futuristic feedback is, it's actually two words. It's feature and the word future. So
Hmm.
yeah, the idea behind it was, yeah, I feel like these are all upcoming artists. These are all people who are still trying to grow, and I'm like, they are the future.
Wow.
They yeah, at some point they will be our next artists that we will see on
Wow.
TV, and that we will see at live shows and stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, this is the future, and
Yes, this
yeah,
is
that's pretty much how
amazing.
it started. Yeah,
Wow. It's wonderful how, like, it started from just a question, like, would people be interested in, like, I'm searching for people
yeah,
um to give feedback to, and
hmm,
it's just wonderful to see how brothers and sisters start to step up for each other, if I can say, because like myself with this show, I always wanted, like, I was wondering why would I do this show, and I started to realize like there's so many in my like in this industry, like in CHH, there's so many upcoming artists who are just wonderful, who have such a message, but they don't have the platform to show it yet, or they don't
Yeah.
have the advice that they need. And the fact that I see that God is raising people like you, who's stepping up and saying, I'm gonna give you the feedback that you need, I'm gonna put you on my platform so everyone can see it, is
Yeah.
wonderful.
Hmm. Yeah.
Wonderful. And you like said you were from like I was wondering, was like, is your first language English then?
No, it's actually Dutch. Yeah. Yeah, I
Damn.
speak. Yeah, I speak both English and Dutch. Yeah, but started with Dutch.
Wow.
Yeah.
And was it hard for you like to leave your, I don't like to say leave, but like the fact that you're speaking English on Instagram, was it hard at first for you?
Um, well, actually, no. Actually, no. No, I was. Yeah, I would say whenever I'm on the internet, I'm actually used to speaking English, more English than Dutch. So
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. It was more like the first time when I was going to record a video. There was when the real problem started. Because
Oh.
yeah, from nature I'm also an introvert, so I was like, how is this going to work? Will people watch it and stuff like that, you know? Sometimes I was a little bit nervous when I first yeah, started making videos, but the
Mm-hmm.
more I did, the easier it became. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's also one thing, because I still get nervous to do those podcasts. For example, like I was like,
Yeah.
God, I was praying before. I was like, God, I can't do that. Help me. Like I'm such an introvert. Like I have a bubbly I don't know how to say that. Like I'm really bubbly. I'm always joyful, but like when
Mhm.
I'm with people, it's so
Yeah.
hard for me. Like I'm, I used to be really shy when I was a
Shy.
kid,
Yeah. Uh,
and like how I went out of this shyness was like I was doing challenges. I was like, I need to talk to one person today, whatever that will be. And that started the fact that I'm less shy. But the fact that you saying that is interesting for my like if you're listening right now, just to tell you that you, even if you're shy, even if you're introvert, even if you feel like you have a dream in your heart and you feel like you cannot do it, you can do it. Just keep practicing, just keep showing up, and like eventually you will be able to do what God called you to do. It's that simple.
yeah.
All right. Now let's maybe dive into your music. I wanted to know, how did you start with music? What was like the first point, and how would you define maybe your music style too?
Yeah. Yeah, how I started with music. Yeah, it was about 7 years ago. 7 years
Mm-hmm.
ago, I actually moved to Suriname. It's a country right above Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was quite a difficult time when I moved to that country because it was yeah, in a way new. I had been there on vacations, but had never lived there before. My parents did, so it was more like yeah, they were back home. But for me, it was all new, and I didn't really know yeah, how to deal with all kinds of things. And
Mm-hmm.
but one thing that I did love was music. I did love listening to music. So one of these days I was listening to music, and then I heard something new, some kind of music that I'd never heard before. It was
Mm-hmm.
my first experience with like trap music. And then I was like, wow, how was this created? So I started googling and searching for how to make music, how to make this type of music. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, before I knew it, I started trying out Ableton Live and FL Studio. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
at first I didn't know what to choose. I really like both programs, and yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
pretty much how I started trying out to make music and sounds. And of course, at first it sounded really bad. I had no idea what I was doing, but I had so much fun that I was like, yeah, I want to keep doing with
Wow.
this. Yeah, it was for me
Yes.
actually a way to actually yeah, to deal with my yeah, more like a way to show my emotions through music, the things
Mm.
that I love, and a moment for me to forget about all the bad stuff that I had to deal with, yeah,
Mm.
throughout the day. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
This is wonderful because like even I think for me, I think I always wanted to do music, but like I was stopped by people because people were saying to me, for example, they were saying you can't sing, like I should never sing again, or like
Mhm.
you can't do that and this. And
Yeah.
one day I was like, I want to try it because like I
Mhm.
feel like I can do it, or I don't
Yeah.
even know what I was thinking, but I was like, I need to try this because it looks like fun.
Yeah.
And I tried it, and me too. That was horrible. Even like if people go back to my first single in like 2018, it's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
But I kept going, and like the fact that you kept going to be maybe not where you want to be, but where you are, because like I've listened to your music, and like you said, you wrote this to like show your emotions and to maybe like get over things that were really difficult for you at those
Yeah.
moments. And
Yeah.
I can feel it in a way because like when I was listening to his music, guys, like I was so happy. I was so happy. I was like, wow, this is such a different, I don't know how to say that, but that was such a different not type of music, but the way it was presented, the way it was like impacting my life. I was like, damn, this man has something different. And I want to like tell you that you really have something different in you, and you really impacting people's life through your music. So I'm so
Yeah.
grateful for you.
Yeah, and what I also need to add is that yeah, the song that I listened to, it was from an artist called Syrup, and
Hmm.
I actually sent him a message. I actually did send him a message like, "What kind of program did you use?" What wow,
Hmm.
and yeah, he was since then using Ableton Live. So
Hmm.
yeah, what I did, I would send him a few of my songs, the things that I
Hmm.
made, and he actually sent me messages back like, "Hey, cool stuff, keep it up," and it's actually all thanks to him. So I want to do a shout out to Syrup. It's all thanks to him that I actually started making music. And it's funny because we're now actually working on music together. It's really interesting. The
Ooh,
person that it inspired me is now actually working with me on music, and
wow.
hopefully soon it will be out. So yeah,
Oh, I
it's
can't
really
wait.
cool how it yeah, how this all started.
Wow, it's
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah,
Again, like when we just do whatever, like because like for you it's fun, like when we just do things for fun
yeah,
and like we feel like we give that to God too, and we feel like it's
hmm
just fun and doing it, like God has start to put people our ways. And like even me, like there's like artists that I always look up to. I say, oh, cool stuff, and I'm like, what? When? So
yeah.
it's wonderful, it's wonderful. Okay. Another question might be: was it ever hard for you to put songs out for the world to hear?
If it, yeah, it actually was. Yeah, yeah. At first, yeah, when I just started, I usually only would send the music to my close friends, and they were like, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's cool, we like it." And but I started this feeling like, will the rest of the world also like it? So I
Mm-hmm.
remember this one time when I was really into house music. I made like a house song. I was really proud of it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, you know what, I'm going to try and send it to one of the local DJs or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I sent it to that person, but I didn't get any reply. So at that moment,
Mm-hmm.
I felt so down. I was quite, yeah, I don't know, I didn't know what to do at that point. I was like, is my music that bad, or yeah,
Mm-hmm.
what's the problem? So yeah, that's for me the moment when I actually stopped trying to release music.
Wow.
Yeah, at some point I even deleted everything from SoundCloud, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to keep practicing until it actually sounds good. And
Mm.
yeah, at some point I came across I think a motivational post where someone was pretty much talking about how important it is to push out your music even when you think it's bad. Like
Mm.
you never know until it's out there and people can actually listen to it. And then I was like, wait, that's true. I need to release it so people can actually tell me what they think of it. And
Mm.
yeah, that's pretty much how it started. And that's how I started putting out music in 2017. Uh,
Wow. That's wonderful. And like Um, the fact that you stopped at some point, but still, uh, this motivational post like sparked again.
yeah.
This you wanted to pursue it again,
Hmm.
because like maybe there's someone listening right now who still want to do music like you or me, and they stopped and they think it's over. like if that's on your heart, it's not over. You can go and continue, because like you can put out stuff, and like people need to listen to it to give you feedback, or you'll never improve. Like when we stay in our room and just make things for ourselves, like for sure nobody gonna improve. And also I've learned to, I think that was from the artist Cascanda, like Kes. I saw like a Twitter post she posted, and like she was saying basically to not worry about the numbers, not worry about everything, because like
Yeah.
there's someone who's gonna listen to it and who needs it too. I was like, this is so powerful. Like we don't understand how much our music and our stuff can impact people's life. And myself, like I sometimes I kind of wanted to stop, because like I was sending my music to like blogs and like big artists, and
Mm-hmm.
nobody ever answered
Yeah.
me, nobody ever responded to me, and I was so down. I was like, is it really that bad?
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
And I started to realize it's not always about the music first. It's about why you doing it, what's behind it, like your heart. And like I started to see people being impacted by that, people sending me messages saying, wow, your music impacted me, wow, your music freed me. And I'm like, I did nothing, it's God first. And second, I didn't thought a second that this could have such an impact, and that yeah, you just need to put it out.
Yeah.
That's what I get from you, put it out.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right, so let me just dive into the other question. I was wondering, how long did you take you to, because like you said that you had like music before on SoundCloud and stuff, but like the music that I can see on the Spotify, was that like your first music released or not? Like for example, Friends Forever and Day Off.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, there was in 2017 is when I really decided like, okay, I'm this year I'm going to release music. So I did release it,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was like, okay, it's out there. People seem to like it, but then I was like, maybe I need to send it out to blogs and check out YouTube channels who might want
Mm-hmm.
to upload it on the channel. And yeah, that's really what sparked it for me. Because I reached out to Suicide Chip, for example. It's a
Mm-hmm.
really big channel on YouTube.
Yep.
At first, they sent me an email back where they were like, "Oh, sorry, thank you so much for the request for the submission, but we can yeah, we won't be uploading it." But
Mm.
then yeah, I was a little bit down at first, but I still kept praying for it. I was like,
Mm.
it doesn't have to end like this. And then I received another email from them, and they were like, hey, but how about we upload it to our second channel? And then I was like, I was so blown away. I had never seen a digital
Ooh.
contract that I had to sign. It was really cool. I was so excited for it. So I signed it, and before I knew it, the song received so much attention. My first song, Day Off,
Wow.
and yeah, I was really happy, and it actually kept me pushing, and kept me going to make more music. Yeah, that's
It's
yeah,
wonderful. That
yeah,
is so wonderful. The fact that you also, like you said, you prayed and you said it
yeah,
doesn't have to end like this.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then things started to happening.
yeah,
Like God never gave us a gift or like dreams and
hmm,
things for us to be down and not being able to use it to impact
yeah,
people's life.
yeah,
And wow, it's really encouraging to me.
yeah. I also think that when I yeah actually started working on Day Off, there was also the moment when I actually started praying before I would work on a song. Before that, I actually
Mm,
never prayed before working on a song. But then I was like,
mm,
I think that I should pray for it and do this
mm,
together with God and not on my own, all by myself. And
mm.
I also think that that really helped me out when I yeah when I was working on those songs. Yeah,
Amen.
yeah.
Amen. It's wonderful. Since like we talked about like you started like music like not too long ago, if I can say so. One of my
Hmm.
question was like, were you like, because like maybe there's someone listening right now and he's saying or she's saying, yeah, but I can't do it because I don't have the gift. Now, were you like,
Aha,
have you felt like you were born with those talents of producing
those
or writing
talents.
music?
Well, to start things off, when I was younger, my parents, yeah, gave me the chance to get lessons to play the flute. That's pretty much how it
Mhm.
started, just to learn about notes and melodies. And after that, when I was done with that, I was allowed to pick an instrument. I then decided to pick the keyboard. I really like the
Mm.
sound of the keyboard and the things you can do with a keyboard. I did that for a few years, but yeah, but then I stopped. Yeah, I thought it was fun, but I didn't really see what else I would do with it. And it was
Mhm.
actually when I started listening to trap music, I was like, okay, I want to learn how to do it. I Because
Mm.
I actually don't have people in my family who write music and stuff like that. So I would say I'm pretty much self-taught. I read a lot of blogs. I watched a lot
Mm.
of tutorials. I Every single day I at least try to do one thing with music to get to where I am
Mm.
right now. Yeah. So I really
Love it.
think it's possible for anyone to get into music if you just put the effort into it. If you're willing to give more than 100%, like you have
Yes.
to practice every single day, and even if it's only 10 minutes. But I've learned
Yes.
that practicing for at least 10 minutes a day will definitely help you out a lot. Oh,
Yes, that's it. Thank you. Exactly. I knew you will say that actually, because that's the same thing for myself. That's how I think.
yeah,
Like when people look up to other artists or me or whoever, I'm like, I just put the work.
yeah,
It doesn't came up like that to me. I just
yeah,
work. And if you ever want something and you work for it, you have it. That's it.
yeah,
That's it. It's wonderful.
yeah.
Then what is like your process to produce songs? Like, do you wake up with like an idea? Do you already have something you plan to do, or do you just try things out on your computer?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, there are so many ways how I approach this. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it can just be that I'm listening to a certain song and then I'm like, wait, I want to make something similar to that song. I want to
Mm,
know how it was made. I want to give it a try. So I just then open my music program. I place the original song into it, and I try to analyze that song, and I try to take
mm,
out elements that they used in that song. I'm like, oh, so that's how they did it. So that's how
mm,
a section works, and then I try to recreate something similar, not the exact song, but something similar, just to get an idea down. And from then
mm,
there on, I can either finish it or I just leave it for what it was, but it was fun to do. Other times I can have a certain melody in my head and I just instantly open my program and start
mm-hmm.
yeah, placing the melody down. And then before I know it, I add chords and other sounds. And yeah, it's also another way how I can create a song. Or sometimes yeah, I take a random a cappella and I try to build a melody or yeah, something around it to create a song. There are
Mm-hmm.
quite a lot of ways. Yeah, it's never the same way how I create my songs. Yeah,
That's interesting because
yeah,
like for me too, like there's so many ways of me creating. I think like just being a creative person, like almost everything can spark an idea for us, which
yeah,
is
yeah.
amazing. I love it.
Hmm.
And like you said, like I kind of like want to point out two things that you said.
Hmm.
Let's start with like the you open right away when you have a melody in your head. Like one thing you can do if like you who you are listening to like right now, if like you're listening to me, if you sometimes have a melody in your head and like you to not forget about it, like just open your phone or like your computer and start writing it, start singing.
Oh
If
yes.
you have like if you write something and like and you have like a word, a sentence, just put your phone and write. Sometimes there's sentences that doesn't make sense at the moment, but I have this in my head, and like 2 years later I start to write an entire song just because of like one word or one sentence. Like the idea that are coming to you are precious, are really precious, and just take the time to take it and like own it. That's one
Yeah.
thing. And the second thing you said is like you take like songs that you like and you're like, oh, I want to make something similar. If like you're listening right now and you think you want to sound a little bit like this person, or like you want to go somewhere, how you can go to where the person you inspire you want to be, um just analyze, just try to emulate and add your own vibe to it, add your own style, add whatever you feel you can add to make it sound like you then. But first start to see where you want to go, analyze the people that are there, and then emulate it, and you go far with that. This is really two keys. You really go far with that. I love it.
Yes.
I wanted also to ask you, how does your faith play a role in your music or even like on social media?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I would say in music, yeah, for starters, when I work on the songs where I sing in, I never use curse words. I don't really have a
Mm-hmm.
need for it. So yeah, that's also, yeah, I just like to keep. I really just prefer to keep it clean.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, on social media, I just always. I try my best to always be friendly to people. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to start any arguments with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to talk things out, and in the end, I just want to help people. It's also when it comes to my feedback videos, I always try to search for the right words to keep to give the person the right feedback that he or she
Wow.
needs. Um, and I also just yeah, I just talk to anyone with respect. If they are yeah,
Mm.
and if they are different in any way, yeah, I just try to be nice to them. Yeah,
That's wonderful.
yeah,
Like, I think that's also another key. Like, if you, whatever you're doing, come from a place of like you want to help people and you want to
yeah,
uplift the other. Like when you
exactly,
came from this place with your heart of doing so, like actually like God did. Like when Jesus came, he just wanted to help people, just wanted to. Just this is such a key. When you do that, like first like you won't have people like you won't have like war of a social media and like a lot of drama around you. This is one
exactly.
thing.
Yeah,
And second, you'll build like a strong community. You will build people that are really supporting you and supporting each other. This is what I've started to see in my own community. Like people start to talk to other people in the community and say, oh, I can help you there, I can help you there. And when you come from this mindset, like you want it all, I think.
yeah.
So we're kind of like coming, unfortunately, at the end of our show.
Oh,
But I always ask like this question to everyone before like they go. Like, what would you say to someone that would love to be an artist, that would love to be a producer, a child of God, like shine on social media, like just like you? What would you say to them?
yeah. At first, what I would say to them is talk to God about this. You know, pray
Hmm.
for it. Pray for the goals. Write them down. Write those goals down. Pray for it, and yeah, and just do your best. Put the effort into it to get better at it. Even if you're still at 0 followers, or for example on Instagram, don't give up. Everybody started at 0 followers. Nobody started with a million.
Hmm.
So I would say just put the effort into it. Don't try to look too much at the numbers, and make sure to have fun. Have fun
Hmm.
while you're doing it. You don't want to see it as a job or yeah, a chore or something like that. So
Hmm.
most first of all, try to yeah, really try to enjoy it. Connect with people, even if they are not Christians. It's totally fine to connect with people. That's also how I started, because you need those people as well. You need those people. You can help each other. You can connect, and that's how you actually
Hmm.
start growing. So I think it's mostly important to yeah, connect with others, try to collaborate on songs, and yeah, keep pushing yourself. Don't be afraid to try out new things that you've never done before. If it didn't go as planned, you can only learn from it, and the next time you know how to do it better, and how to actually grow. So
Hmm.
it's never yeah, it's never a mistake if something didn't go as planned. You can only learn from it and get better because of it. Oh.
Hmm. I love it. I love it. Like what he said, pray first for it, then like do your best to be better at it, like at your craft. When
Yeah.
you start from zero, like don't give up, have fun, connect with the people, even non-Christian. Don't be afraid to try out new things and finally learn from things that didn't go as planned. It's amazing. Perfect. I love it. All
Yes.
right, now where can people find you, and if you have something to promote, that's your time to shine.
Well, yeah, you can find me on Instagram. I'm also on SoundCloud and on Spotify. My handle is Baxter. You don't exactly spell it as Baxter. It's BVXR. No, wait, DR. Yeah, yeah. That's my handle.
That's
Yeah.
perfect. So like everything should be in the podcast section, like you in the description of the podcast,
Mhm.
like he said, like BVXTR, and you will find him. But if you don't remember, it's in the show notes. Thank you so much for being here. I
Yeah.
appreciate you. I really
Thank you so
really
much
do
for having me.
appreciate you. And yeah, it's in the end of the show, and see you.
Yes. See you. Bye.
If you want to help support the podcast, you can donate at paypal.me/bggme, link in the description of the podcast. If you want to be coached by me, you can contact me at contact@bggme.com or on Instagram. Finally, if you want to help for free, just share this podcast with a friend. Thank you for listening.